Today, be ready for Esko, our co-founder and chief architect. He's a brilliant software developer, a very good musician, but also loves hot wings. Hey Esko, what's up today?
Doing good. It's nice finally being in the podcast as the last co-founder. Well,
Yes.
the original co-founder.
Official co-founder.
Official co-founder, yeah.
Because obviously we have all the other people who are unofficial co-founders.
Yeah, true that.
You're quite young, actually. Not the youngest, but almost in the company. But you have a lot of experience programming software. Do you remember the first piece of software you developed?
Yeah, actually I do. I very clearly do. It was in high school, actually. I didn't start programming before
How old
that.
were you?
So I was like, I would say 16 to 17, somewhere there. So some basic programming course, Java, and we were supposed to make a game. And it was actually pretty unique because I came up with, with my friend, with this kind of game logic that I have never kind of seen anywhere else.
Wow.
So the game was about like 1 versus 1, these characters that you control in the game field.
Yeah.
And there was these kind of balls that you would move. And you both have your own areas.
Yes.
And you need to move the balls to your own area. So you need to go and push them to your own area.
Okay.
So the kind of trick was that there is also this golden ball that is directly in center of you two.
Yeah.
Like two guys playing.
So you have several balls and one golden ball.
Yes, one golden ball. And the golden ball is...
And what is your character?
Your character was just some random character. Like it's someone running there kind of on the game field. Anyway, so the idea with the golden ball was that you get lot of points if that's in the correct area.
Yeah.
And the other balls were like you get some points. So the idea of the game was smartly kind of on the action, move your own balls kind of to the correct position while still watching for the center ball that was always in the center of you two.
Yeah.
To not go to a place where you get minus points or you get a lot of good points by getting it to some other place.
And did you have some 3D rendering? Or
No.
some
It was a 2D game, of course.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a kind of, I think that's actually why I'm programming today, because that was so fun, kind of a starting project.
Was it a school project or just...
Yeah, it was cool. It was high school. So
That's pretty cool. So in Finland, in high school, you do games.
Well, it was like an optional course. Luckily, I was in a big high school, so they had a lot of kind of interesting optional courses that you could take.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And then from that point, what was the second piece of software? Did you continue from that point and just discovering more and more, or was it just other school projects? Like, when was your passion born?
Well, that was like kind of the initial passion, and then after that, I kind of went into doing 3D graphics.
Yeah,
that was like really my interest, like doing that for games, or then maybe music for games. So I was kind of focused on that for couple of years, but when I kind of applied for university, it kind of came back to me that the coding was really nice. That was also something I liked. So then I applied for Aalto computer science.
Okay.
So that's kind of where then my actual skills came from, because of course I didn't know too much before then.
And did you have a dream at that point when you applied at Aalto? Did you know what you wanted to do as a job later on?
Yeah, as I kind of said, I've always wanted to do something a bit more creative. So I kind of saw that maybe games, of course, would be the kind of end goal. And now I'm here at SurrogateTV.
Yeah. So then in Aalto, you started to work at Twosided also, the company where all the co-founders met.
Yeah.
When was it? Like, was it the first year or second years at university? When did you start?
It was during second year. There was this course. It's actually one of the best courses, I think, in Aalto, where you kind of get a project from a company, and they give you, like, we were doing some streaming related stuff there, and they kind of specs out the project, and then you come there with a team and you make a kind of a design, how would you kind of implement it, and then you implement it. And during that project, I kind of got into Twosided.
Okay. And I know you also developed a lot of apps or did a lot of websites. When did you start that? And you were a freelancer freelancer for some time.
Yeah, actually that's true. When I said kind of that I didn't do any programming, I actually did websites at the same time, but websites are not really programming. I would say like when you do a WordPress website and you do little bit of PHP, it's not really that much of a programming tasks.
So it was in high school too?
Yeah, it was kind of in high school. So I did like projects to different companies. For example, I started with a scuba diving company actually.
Wow. Okay.
And the first job I got was making a website for them. I did it with my friend and we got free scuba diving gear for the project. So,
what was it, a Finnish company?
Yeah, it's actually in downtown Helsinki.
So it's to do scuba diving in Finland?
Yeah. Wow. I actually have a scuba diving license from the company also.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, the basic open water diver.
Yeah. So you had the lessons and so on?
Yeah, as a kind of...
They didn't just send you the license because you did the website?
No.
Okay.
But I didn't actually get money from doing the website, so I got the...
Of course.
Yeah.
Then you joined Surrogate and we started working together a year ago. What is your mission here? Well, what's your job at Surrogate?
Yeah, so my mission from the get-go has been kind of the software side, whereas Severi has been doing a lot of the hardware side. My mission right now is to try to keep the software and pumping it out with a steady pace, and also designing what do we do and how. Of course, the team is involved in everything, so I'm not doing anything alone here.
So you do the architecture mostly?
Yes. But I also, of course, since we are a kind of a small team, I also do actual programming here, not just designing architecture.
Yeah, some cloud stuff.
Yeah, I would say like mainly I've been focusing on our cloud solutions.
Yeah. You have also, as you said, that you love games and you designed, like the first piece of software you did was a video game.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first video game you played as a kid?
We were not actually allowed to have kind of consoles.
Yeah.
So it must be some game that I've played with my friends on over their house. So I would say maybe something from PlayStation 1. Maybe even Crash Bandicoot might be. It's like I was pretty old when I started kind of, let's say, gaming because of that. Yeah.
So, and then from that time, you also discovered at some point RunEscape, if I remember.
Yeah.
And you played a lot.
I will say RunEscape is the first game I really played a lot. Like that's when we finally kind of had a gaming machine on our home also. It was of course a PC, but of course RunEscape could be played with that. So
can you tell us what is RunEscape and why did you get so addicted to it?
So basically RunEscape is an MMORPG that you play through just a website. Like they had a Java client back then, so it was easy to kind of get to play that game. It's very grind based game, so you have a lot of different skills, you level them up, and then there is of course a free and paid option. And that's actually also the first game that I have ever had a subscription in. So I had the membership there.
Okay. And then you went to World of Warcraft, I guess.
Yeah, basically I was kind of late on that also. So when everyone during kind of when they were, I don't know, 10, 12, they moved to World of Warcraft. I started RunEscape maybe at that time, and then a bit later moved to World of Warcraft. Yeah.
So did it influence the kind of games you would love to create at Surrogate, playing all these MMORPGs?
Yeah, now that I think of it, actually, it clearly did, because like actually after playing these MMORPGs, I've never gone back to non-MMORPG games. Like, let's say, well, not MMORPG, but non-online games. So basically, the only games I play nowadays is online games. And I guess Surrogate being this kind of a online game with the community around it is a good example of kind of the social aspect that I really like on these MMORPG games.
Yeah, and about the grinding experience, because it's also part of the MMORPGs or RPGs in general, and you just go back to level up and so on. Do you think we can apply that to real life games as we're doing right now?
Yeah, of course, why not? So
Because usually you see your character evolve or your statistics improve in the game. So when you do real life stuff, you need like the real life device to evolve itself, or to have somehow a design that allows that grinding experience.
Yeah, I see no problem with that. Of course, I'm not the hardware guy here, so when it comes to real life, it's most likely the hardware guy that makes the kind of a bot that can change, I don't know, colors, grow bigger, I don't know. But of course, our tech on the software side allows making a full MMORPG in the future.
Yeah, it's actually a good example of how to design game in real life. Like we could start with the idea, the dream of doing something from just an idea, and then trying to force that idea into the constraints of reality. Or we could start with the constraints of the real world and just going like, what hardware exists and what can we build from that? From the two perspectives, which one do you think matches you the most in terms of philosophy? Do you go from idea to reality, or from reality you try to imagine the ideas from that?
It kind of depends. Like, I have to say that like I have my creative side and then I have my programmer side. So those are kind of fighting, I guess, in this situation, because of course the programmer would want to spec out everything first and then do what's actually possible. But the creative side, of course, would want to do the most craziest game ever. So I would say it kind of is not that clear for me that which would be the kind of ideal way to go. But I would like to see some really advanced game produced by us or then someone else.
So we've been working on all these games for a year now. We've released 3 games so far. We're working on other prototypes. When will you know that we have become successful?
I think for me it's mainly about having a lot of users, having a community especially, having our own things like our own memes, our own style, being the place where everyone knows that that's kind of the place for real life games. Personally, I've always wanted to, especially on the creative side, I've always wanted to create something that affects people, like makes them sad, funny, or whatever. So kind of, I want to see that also. And we have a lot of people who are emotionally connected to it. Yeah. I mean, they are having good time there. There is some kind of a small community there that has their own thing going on, and bigger there, and so on.
Yeah, and we already see people organizing tournaments on our games, for example, like Proco, and other who are doing some moderation for us. We didn't ask anything, and they just love the community, so they involve a lot also.
Yeah, and like community is this kind of thing that when you get it starting, hopefully it starts to self kind of build itself. So we have actually people who kind of contribute to the community and build it more.
I know one of your passions is hot wings, chicken hot wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, it matches the sleepless nights with the unhealthy eating habits and so on. That's from that time at least. Now it has improved. I have to say, I'm quite surprised that everyone has a healthy way of living now, which was not the case when we started, just in the very beginning. But yeah, it's getting there. So the hot wings, I saw your emotional relationship with them, and you have many stories about hot wings.
Yeah, I really like hot wings, and I got them kind of introduced to them way too late in my life. You know, actually, I think Saku was the first guy to ever kind of introduce me to real hot wings.
When was it? Like in Tuxera?
It was in Tuxera time. Like we ordered hot wings to Tuxera.
Yeah.
Of course, when you order them, they are a bit soggy and so on. I was what is this? But then first time I really ate them. Wow. Yeah. It's really like the kind of the experience. Now I go in, I take 30 hot wings or whatever with some hot sauce, and then it's a bit of a struggle, but it's still like, it's like you do something. You really need to work for your food there.
What do you mean a struggle?
It starts to fight back a bit, you know, when you know, it's kind of so hot that it's not 100% enjoyment anymore at that point. It's more like it's a performance that you need to just go through.
Yeah.
But I really somehow enjoy it. I don't know.
luckily there's more to you than just eating hot wings. You're also deeply passionate about music, and you've been playing for a long time now. Do you remember when you started and what instrument you played?
Yeah, I think I started when I was about like 12 years old. I started with the guitar, so it was like the basics of music, kind of just the initial instrument to get to know to. Then I moved into piano. I think that's what really opened music for me, because that's when I got to be a bit more, let's say, like adventurous with the music. I tried different styles. Of course, piano as an instrument is also different in a way that you can easily like play the whole song, so to say, so that you play the melody and the background for that. So you get kind of, you can stand alone, do much more with that. And then after that I moved into drums, or I still play piano. That's kind of my main instrument, I would say, but lately I've been playing drums also.
In the company, we all say that you're not truly Finnish, and you might be Italian because you're so outgoing. It goes against what Finnish people are expected to be. How Finnish do you think you are, in fact?
Well, it depends on the things, you know. I'm actually, like, you get a bit blurred vision here because we are all friends. So with my friends, I'm really open. But with people that I don't really know, I'm not really that open. So I guess I have the Finnish kind of style in that case. But with my own friends, I'm fairly open. So
talking about your two-sided personality, being super shy with strangers and very outgoing with your friends, like basically being ice and fire at the same time. What kind of manager do you want to be? What kind of side do you want to bring forward when you manage people?
I think, of course, when you manage people, you need to have a bit of both personalities. But what I really want is that I kind of lead by example.
What do you mean by example? Is it achieving more than the others, coding in a better way, or being more advanced technically speaking, or is it more about the attitude?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything to do with skills, actually. It's more about the attitude, that you put your kind of best effort always in, and you help others, you bring like just a good spirit for the whole team by being there, being nice to other people and so on. So
yeah, it's true. When we started the company, I actually had to code a little bit on the front end side. You helped me quite a bit, and you were actually leading by example. Like, you were never offensive or anything, and you were super patient, which is a great side, actually. Yeah. So I see you coding a lot with Julius also, who does all the front end in our company. That's funny because he's the kind of silent guy, more reserved, and very Finnish, typical guy. And you are you next to him, but you deliver a lot of great features together, and you work really well together. What's the relationship between you?
I think like we have a really good teamwork going on, where, you know, because I'm working currently on the cloud side more and he is on the front end, we kind of get features done very fastly in a way that we have good communication, and as you said, we do pair programming and such to get the features out fast. And so far it has been working great. Like I feel both sides benefit from that greatly.
Yeah. Speaking about Julius, I can see him hitting pretty aggressively to me that he needs you. And since we still have a website and some software to do, I guess I'm going to have to let you go.
All right.
Go back to the work.
All right. It was really nice to be in this podcast. I think
you.
Julius is also going to be in one of the podcasts maybe. So
yeah, it will be interesting to discover some secret sides of his personality.
Yeah.
Thank you again, Esko. It was great to having you, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks.